put them in a kind of a document management system. This whole business of retrieving the information, this whole business of passing over this information to the intended beneficiary becomes very smooth. And I think that's where a lot of IT spend is bound to happen as far as India is concerned. And it's not just a question of transmission, the security of information. In paper records, whatever we may try and do, it's absolutely impossible to maintain a tamper-proof arrangement. But now, the advances in the security has made it possible for us to have tamper-proof arrangement. I'll give you a small example. In Andhra Pradesh, we have more than 4 crore land records. They were all available in paper format, and there were allegations that they were being tampered with. We went in for a huge program to computerize and digitalize all these records, and then got them digitally signed by the respective authorized signatories. And all these records are now available in our state data center in an absolutely tamper-proof form. A small change in any of the records also creates an audit trail and makes it absolutely impossible for anybody to manipulate those records. I think something similar is in store as far as the patient information is concerned. And this is one sector where I think ICT can play a huge role in terms of improving the kind of information which is not just required for the management part, but at the same time would be of great help in research. Internets, intranets, extranets, you call it by whatever name, but the fact is, this is a connected world, and they call it one global village, and it's possible because of communications and information technology. You have one computer talking to other computer, now you have one device talking to another computer, now you have one device talking to another device, and possibly the time would come when we will have intelligent hospitals, intelligent rooms, intelligent wards, intelligent operation theaters, which understand the requirement of the doctor and manages the whole show with the use of ICT, with the help of microprocessors. The beauty of information technology is the way it connects disparate objects. You may have some information lying somewhere in somebody's mind. You have some other information which can actually lie in some other mind, but which is not accessible and available to that mind. And I think this is where this whole problem comes in. And this is where information technology, when it marries these disparate minds and the information exchange that takes place, I think that is what brings in the value. In fact, somebody was pointing out the last 20 years of advances in basic sciences, in biotechnology, in life sciences, or in any other sector has possibly come in because of this inter-exchange between minds, inter-exchange between systems, and this information flow from one mind into another. Now, as far as the patient records are concerned, for the system, for the government, for the regulators, it holds huge promises because of the fact that it allows us to look into the future, find possible trends, track those trends, and at the same time evolve solutions which can impinge upon the lives of people who live in especially the marginal areas in our country. Medical equipments. I mentioned it in the passing. I mean, look at any equipment that's available. Unless you have information technology embedded in it, it loses its significance. I remember to have got done an X-ray 5 years back, carrying films here and there, and now you have a situation wherein there's no film required because information is all digitally processed. You can view them digitally, you can send them digitally, you can transmit them digitally, and this has really opened huge possibilities for the health sector. In fact, the efficiency and the effectiveness of any health program will improve and increase many-fold when information technology starts occupying a center stage in health management. In fact, there are computer-guided lasers which are now used in operations. I mean, the doctor has just got to manipulate. It's like a pilot running a plane. He has absolutely no job but to kind of it's on an autopilot. He just monitors on the screens and ensures that the plane runs. I think something similar is happening in the health sector, and possibly many more advances will come in, when the role of a doctor would be of more as a manager rather than trying to do a hands-on job. I mentioned to you, as far as research is concerned, I mean, this is one area where possibly information technology has really created, has made a huge and major impact. In fact, this whole concept of drug trials, again, a friend in Harvard told me this, that, most of the drugs are actually now simulated. We don't even do a proper, you don't need to even do a proper on-field trial. Computers allow you to simulate some of the impacts of the researches, effects of the new drugs that are being tried out, even to conduct some of these clinical trials, and some of these collaborations between institutions and between institutions located internationally in different corners is now possible with the help of information and communications technology. I have mentioned some disadvantages. I will not go to that. But let me come to this web-based diagnosis. As I mentioned to you, it has its own pitfalls and disadvantages because it can lead to incorrect diagnosis at times. But there are advantages in terms of 24/7 access, which is not possible in any human system, but which is actually possible with internet and with the web and the network available. At the same time, it also gives opportunity for the professionals to interact with the researchers. Professionals are doing management in the field while researchers are working behind to create products which can help the managers here. So this kind of a support system also helps the management part as well as the research part. Let's come to the communications. I used to be district collector about 10 years back, and in many of our rural areas we tried this teleconference model, video conference model. We cannot bring every patient to a tertiary care hospital, but through teleconference, through video conference, we can actually send a tertiary care hospital into every village and for every patient. Now with the communication network growing in our country, Government of India is talking in terms of a national optical fiber network in the coming next 2 years, wherein optical fiber lines would be laid right till the Gram Panchayat level. So you will have internet going into every village, broadband going into every village. And with that happening, the expertise would start getting shared. You will have surgeons in one country helping a surgeon in some other country. You will have an expert helping not an amateur in a village trying to handle situations. You will have situations of remote diagnosis possible. At the same time, it will also become possible for the patients to actually monitor their own conditions sitting in their home instead of going into a hospital, because they will be live, they will be connected, they will be on a kind of a uplink, video conference link. And as I mentioned to you, the expert systems, these knowledge-based systems, which have now started coming to the fore, which are actually nothing but computer programs, which would perform the role of a human expert, with the kind of artificial intelligence coming in the way we compute and the way we store and manipulate knowledge. All this can play a huge role in not just disease diagnosis, it can play a huge role in communicable diseases prevention. It can also help in management. And as mentioned to you, as far as the differently abled people are concerned, computers can play a huge role in improving the ability of these people to communicate. It can also provide them opportunities to become independent and get employed. You have examples, I've put some of them here. Voice recognition equipments. In fact, they have been able to convert speech into printed output for hearing impaired. So it makes the life for these people so easy and improves the quality of their lives. Scanners which can convert printed text into verbal output for visually impaired. There are vision systems with sensors built into special glasses. They are computerized devices implanted to improve the mobility for physically impaired. You asked for it and you have it. All this is possible because the technology is getting married to biology on the other side. And I think this is where a conference like this holds a huge value for the society. Information technology and health, these two cannot live in islands. These two have to live together. They're actually married to each other. Married to each other where there is no divorce possible. So you have a situation wherein both will feed on to each other, both will gain out of each other, and I'm sure professionals here coming in from both sides, you will have opportunities to network, to share your notes, share your ideas, and the world at large would immensely benefit from this particular exchange. Once again, my thanks to the management and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. And I'm sure Hyderabad, which is a global destination for pharma, healthcare, and information technology, all the three, would offer you a perfect point for dialogue and deliberations. And I'm sure the exchanges like this would continue in future as well. Thanks once again. Thank you.